Honk.
Wait.
Honk. Honk.
Yeah! Contact was made.
Drink.
Whoa.
Alright, welcome to episode 58. Not really 58, we'll talk about it in a minute. Episode 58.
Even numbers.
King Leo DnD. Alright, first announcement. Michael's back. Look at that beautiful face. Second announcement,
face.
Sally is not here. Sally is sick today, HIPAA, but we're going to say she's sick. That was a joke from last time, from episode 57, when Rachel was sick and everyone was just like, HIPAA. And Rachel's like, it's just Rachel's sick. So, anyway, now that we're all caught up, we kind of maybe sort of lost actual episode 58, and we lost the audio of it. If we recover that audio, we will upload that as episode 57 and a half. So we'll get that taken care of. So we're going to technically call this 58 and just see what happens, and we'll do a really good recap for that. Other update, you've got 2 weeks left for getting into the Patreon to help build the enemy for this party to potentially fight in the caverns. So get there if you want to be a part of it. It's already in a pretty great spot, and would love to just get some more people involved for the building of it to be as cryptic as possible. So you can participate if you support at any level. There's no cutoff. So just join in and look for that post. It will be the top one. Next is the recap, which will be a hefty one for episode 58. Rachel. I'm kidding, you weren't here. But if Cassandra, Steven, and Joey wouldn't mind recapping what was lost from episode 58. It's everything from the Emerald Hood and what was set up there, being sent there from Lilith, and everything that was decided in that conversation, etc. Also the dome, right? The fighting dome also happened in that.
Dome.
So that will definitely need some extra attention for what happened for Pilgrim. So go for it.
We know that I'm not good at this, but I do understand I took the notes.
You did really good notes.
It's a lot of notes, that's why it's bad.
Man, that's a lot of
But I
So
don't
we
know.
need to say everything. 'Cause
Word for word.
Just read it.
and it's in your voice
I
already.
mean,
It's kinda nice.
the big thing is that we got a bunch of cool gear from Jacques. Well, Jacques is
Yeah,
making
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
for us. I got some cool armor, and he's going to join us in our quest to go down into the mines of Dustforge.
Yes.
Because it's a political move. We're trying to get a few people down there with us, so it feels less like we're aligned with any one person. We're politicking, and Pilgrim is interested in learning more about Dustglass through Jacques through this journey downstairs. Excuse me.
I'm sure that was fun on audio. I'm so sorry.
So there's that. And Lilith was fine with Jacques coming, and that went well, the conversation. So we're all gearing up to go down into the mines. And because we found the dome, we were discussing the possibility of having some sparring matches in the dome. What are some more highlights?
We were told that what kind of enemies we were going to face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Before we jump to that real quick, too, did you already talk about the 2 things that you learned from seeing the sparring dome, Pilgrim?
Yeah, it reminded me of similar things that I had in my past. It actually helped me reconnect with some past skills that I had, actually.
Yeah.
So now I have the ability to screw with people's minds, make them really sad and hurt by being around me.
You've had... You just
just
got
like
that?
And this is new.
Yeah. Totem found the new ability to ruin the mood in any room he's in.
At a very powerful level.
It's called vibe check.
Level. Yeah. A psychic
On
damage
purpose
level.
now.
And also while we're in the dome, fun fact, as we're sparring, we can't actually hurt one another.
It hurts.
Feels like it hurts, but we're not actually getting the damage.
So it's like the worst way.
So we talked about it's a great way to either fight someone or torture someone.
Yeah.
So the possibilities are
You
endless.
can torture somebody from...
And then you were talking about the monster stuff, sorry.
Yeah, so we were told by Lilith? Yeah, because we were about to get supplies and stuff, so she said the beasts that roam the caverns, or whatever it is, have claws and teeth, and they move only in shadows and darkness. So we were trying to get things to fight those. Apparently they're really scary.
Everyone was pretty high key about the orphan assassins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We-
Okay, that's probably the most important.
Yeah.
All
We
orphans have swords
learned
now.
that Lilith wants a boyfriend. That did come up. And it also really sucks because that it's gone. Hope if someone finds an SD card, just like deliver our audio to us because it's not like a tech issue. It's like we physically need the SD card. We'll find it. But this was the one where Misery was just being a real tool to Treya, like more than usual.
Oh, yeah.
And when he left, I was like, he's usually just like he's still at that age where like that means he likes you. And that was when Treya was like, the loving must feel for you all. It just must be profound. And I'm really sad that
Yeah.
y'all are missing out on that.
To
our
give a
fans.
little context to the Orphan Assassins thing.
No.
I think I got it.
Treya had donated a bunch of sparring swords and blunted arrows and bows to a local orphanage called Earth's Oasis to give them some practical training and marketability with a skill later
They
in
asked
life.
for food, but that's not what they really need.
Get it yourself. Teach you to fish.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris, Texas Longhorn boy, said, and I quote, I've always imagined hitting something with a hammer.
I've always
really
imagined
mind you.
hitting something with a hammer. Never saw a hammer before. Could
Wow,
never
that's
do
very
it.
fun.
Make my dream come true.
He didn't want to help us, did he?
May
Not
I
really.
ask questions?
Yeah.
Number one, where is the stone again?
It's in the West Cove estate, in
Okay.
Lilith's place.
Number two, why are we going to a dungeon?
Which dungeon?
We're
Oh,
going on a trip
She
to the
tasked us
monsters.
with helping. She's delivering something to her grandfather's tomb, or she's doing something down there, and we're doing that. Pilgrim's ulterior motive is wanting to go and learn about.
Really?
Yeah, Now,
This
the
is just
tomb...
the mission that
Biggest
about-
priority.
we're just actually going on. The
The
mission
only
that
reason
they're
I'm
wanting
there.
us to do.
Yeah.
It's not new. We're just leaving soon.
Follow up to that, my last question, how does Lilith feel about us killing Harlene? Like,
Oh,
she-
yeah. We told her.
And what was her reaction?
Good job.
Remember?
I think.
Yeah, she
was,
seemed
like, very
satisfied.
brief.
We were pretty straightforward about we went in there and we killed her. I don't think we really elaborated the demonic nature necessarily. Maybe I don't know. However we phrased
Yeah.
it, she was fine with it. So
No, it was pretty chill. It was mostly like us trying to stay somewhere else that pissed her off. And
yeah,
And we
she
were
got
trying to,
offended that we were because we talked with the East Cove guy about staying
Say
at an
again?
inn to be neutral.
Derrigerth.
Durgurgur.
With Fang.
No, that's Zangan.
Zangan.
Durgurgur was
Zangan is the
almost
East Cove
dead
guy.
guy on the table.
The not blind.
Durgurth is the
Durgurth
dead
is
blind
the blind
guy.
Durgurth is the
Oh my
dead-
gosh, I got those backwards. Yes. Even in my
Oh,
notes.
do you want me to do you want
Yeah,
me to
just switch me spots.
Okay.
It'll be good.
You create
Take the beard off, give it to Cassandra.
I was
I
like,
don't know why
whoa,
you did that. I don't know
Yeah.
why you did that.
I must be wrong.
Idiots.
Right,
God
right,
has spoken.
Zangan.
Is Zangan single? That's my last question.
Uh-oh.
Gwen's trying to get back
Is
to
Rachel
Fairbrand,
asking?
so
No, this is Thule asking on behalf of Lilith.
Oh.
Nice.
Interesting. I don't know if we know that.
Interesting.
Y'all definitely know the answer to that.
Oh, we definitely.
Oh, it's definitely-
Oh,
yes.
there's no matriarchs. That's right,
There you
right?
go.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We definitely know that.
So, as we reconnect to the story after that recap, Thelon.
Hi.
Hey, Thelon.
been hugging trees for a
Yeah,
couple of months.
you've been down under for quite a while. Actually, it's only been like one night. It's been like half a day and a whole day by the time you get out and reconnect with folks. What you've been doing in the caverns is kind of chasing around the leads that you can across the routes in the caves.
Was I allowed to go in these caves? I thought I wasn't allowed to.
You had to sneak in,
Okay.
which was really easy with Lorelith at your side, and you also have Pass Without Trace and things like that. Then you are naturally able to use some magic and get your shadows to work on your behalf. So while you were down in there, some things that you learned, which also some of these things Lorelith had already brought up because she left you to rejoin the party, but you insisted on staying. The tree seems alive, more alive than any other tree that you've seen before. So it actually retracts when it gets cut into. The root just vanishes away and kind of pulls itself back and quickly recedes into the caverns. Also, when it is cut, it produces a reddish-black fluid that it leaves behind. That it almost seems to bleed as well, and so you can easily put this together. It's called the bloodroot tree. The tree itself seems to kind of bleed. Like it's all kind of coming together. After tracking down one of these roots for a couple of hours, as you're kind of following it back, Thelon, you found a section of the caverns that had one of these roots bolted into the wall of the cavern. And so the root extends along the side of the wall, and then there's this massive metal shackle that encloses it, and then there's a bolt that goes through that shackle and through the middle of it. And so it is fully like healed and regrown over that, but it is trapped within it. And so you can see and even test it out where you like took a blade and kind of cut in, that when it tries to retract and kind of pull away, that the shackle keeps it right there. Also, within this particular part of the cave, there's a couple of barrels and buckets and different like tools and blades and stuff kind of set aside here. And that there seems to be just like some very specific equipment around this room. Otherwise, it's been completely abandoned. There was nobody there. And so we're going to cut into this moment for you where you're actually in this space and you're looking some of this stuff over and you're kind of investigating it. Anything that you'd like to do to interact with the tree or anything you'd like to learn while being here?
On the other side of the shackle, the side that goes towards the tree, wherever it is, does it just like disappear into the distance? Like, can I track?
It actually goes into one of the cave walls. Like, it has busted through the stone.
Do I see any proof of like maybe it's shackled so that they can harvest it for wine? I know that was one thing that people were talking about, almost like a maple syrup type thing. Or
yeah, as you're looking around the room and seeing some of the parts and pieces here, that's exactly what this space seems like it's for. Like, they've locked it down here, and this is a place where stuff seems to be collected from it.
Okay. Am I able to communicate with, like, can I sense feelings of anything from?
I think you might have some form of communicate with plants and animals.
I know I can speak with animals. I can locate plants and animals.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know that there's necessary. I think once finding out or kind of seeing that it was used to harvest, I don't know that there's much else that I could gain from that scenario. I didn't see anything else as I was like tracking it on the way down. That was the only route that I was following.
Sure, yeah. You can go ahead and make an investigation check as you're now just kind of looking around the room and seeing if there's anything else to notice.
Oh, my investigation's -1 round. What do I roll? The 20?
The 20.
First roll in like 2 months.
20?
It's a 6. So I got a 5.
Okay. As you lean over towards one of the boxes of stuff to just kind of see like what kind of tools are here, you just hear over your back shoulder a very low growl. And as you peek over, there's a large in the sense of like, not like, just a large wolf. Maybe the size, like about the size of Strogoff, so not like some type of massive creature, but as it's standing there and kind of growling at you, and it's got its head low. In an instant of you trying to turn and see what's going on, it just disappears. And then over to your left is another set of a really dark, shadowy spot where the torchlight that's here just doesn't quite illuminate. And then you can see that its eyes went from there to there. And in that quick moment of you like, wait, what? And then it starts to kind of pounce over towards you. So let's roll initiative.
What
What was Thelon? Oh, he was being murdered by the
if he
tree.
died?
And
using...
make a new character.
That's a D22, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Be better. 15.
There's D22s.
Great. Okay. So the first thing that's going to happen is...
Ghost wolf.
It's an 11 to hit.
I hope that doesn't.
Yeah, it's very low.
Wait, I don't think that it does.
So low number
Your arm class is 13, so no, that does not hit.
No.
This wolf kind of pounces over towards you from the shadow, and when it hits you, it just kind of like dissipates into smoke and then reforms right back in the shadow. You're up.
So it's after seeing that, I can probably recognize that it's not actually an animal.
Yes.
So I can't use any sort of like animal calming or anything like that.
Maybe, you're not sure.
Man. Okay. Well. Gosh, I mean, it's gotta be an animal. But what the heck type of animal does that? Okay.
That's a smoking hot.
I'll just try and cast Animal Friendship.
Okay.
Yes. Make it here from
By the end of this campaign,
Attack
it's
class.
a wolf.
So the attack and save is
That would be so cool, though.
it's a 15. So I have to roll 15 or above to charm it. Or,
Is it a DC 15?
It sounds like it's a saving
Yeah,
throw,
it's a saving throw from the wolf.
Yeah.
Does it say kind wisdom? I'm gonna guess.
Yeah. Wisdom 15.
Yeah. It rolled. Well, you don't need to know what it rolled, but as you magically speak over, your hand goes forward. Some of the spores come out of your wrist, and you're trying to like calm and call this creature in. This is your action, right?
Yes.
Are you doing anything else with bonus action or movement in your turn?
So it was behind me, which was blocking my exit, but now it's
kind of off to the side.
To my side.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to retreat in any form and allow it to have some sort of attack. I don't know that I necessarily feel too threatened while I'm casting this, so I think that I'll
hold your ground.
Yeah, I commit to just charging this.
Got it. Okay. The spores leave your hand and kind of move over towards it. You see them just kind of flow over and around it, and they're trying to take effect. You're not quite sure if it's working or anything yet. That's what you see. And that's why I was kind of asking what would you do, kind of see what your intentions are if you didn't quite know. So,
okay.
Anything else?
What else do I have if I use that action?
You have your shifting for your bonus action. I think you have that magic stone, like enchanting thing. You can get stones ready to throw, things like that.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, why don't I... Can I wild shape into it?
It is not a beast.
Okay.
So you could shift into a wolf, but you couldn't do into
do
this, like,
exactly
form.
into it. Okay.
And then you also have your sporish form thing.
Yeah. Why don't I? How about I'm gonna shift into a bat.
Okay.
And go up towards the top of the cave or tunnel, whatever I'm
Got it. Okay. It tracks you as you do that. You flutter into a bat and you're kind of darting around from side to side and start to have to do your like circles around the space to maintain flying up, and it's just bearing down and tracking you. And then you can see as the smoke form of it sits, two like tendrils of the smoke start to track up and fly and follow, and then they launch out towards you.
Uh-oh.
It's a 22 to hit.
Whoa!
I think you're using bat stats when you wild shape.
Oh,
too.
bat stats!
So
not bat
it's definitely
stats.
going to hit, and you only have like one hit point as a bat, and then it'll transfer you back into
Yeah,
your
you
regular
don't-
form.
Okay.
It's fine. Yeah,
So I just changed forms.
Yeah. However, you're going to take some fall damage from
hilarious.
falling. From being up towards the top of the cavern as Thelon.
Bat stats! Oh, nice!
You're going to take 11 necrotic damage.
Okay.
Are you resistant to necrotic in your form? I have your stats.
Wait, what?
Where would resistances be?
Following you?
Under
That's a real dead drop.
features and trade.
Yeah, you don't have any resistances.
Okay.
So 11 necrotic damage. So you'll take 10 from your current health because of that. It takes away the 1. But also, your strength score is reduced by 3. And so, this is temporary.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do a modifier. I'm going to subtract 3 from your strength. If it'll let me. There we go. Okay. Just to let you know this too, and this is something that'll be helpful for everyone to know. When any of your stats is reduced to 0, your character dies. It is seen as like that particular thing to its complete depletion does like bring your character to death. And so you going from 12 strength to 9, like 1/4 of your body's ability to maintain strength and able to stand is reduced. So you immediately feel the impact of that. And as your bat form turns into
Thelon form,
you take 6 bludgeoning damage from falling as well. So 16 total damage. And then as you hit the ground and these shadow tendrils are around you, you go to stand up and you can feel the like weakness of your body as you just like it feels like, you know, maybe if you had a cast on your arm for a long time and then you finally get that feeling back and it's like, oh, I haven't used this in months, and so you have to like kind of work some strength back to it. Like that's how your whole body feels right now.
Okay,
you're up.
It's not funny, but it's like the thought of dying because your charisma hits 0.
I've had the same thought. I was like, Julie could die of no charisma.
I have 5 charisma.
That's hilarious.
I'm so unpopular.
You're so close to death.
No. I like to live on the edge.
This interaction went so badly, you just laid down and died.
I knew that was possible.
It was very
Where did my one thing go that when I can shift and gain all that health?
Yeah. That's in features and traits. It is called symbiotic entity.
There it is.
You get 28 temporary hit points.
Okay.
And you get your Halo of Spores stuff too.
Hey,
I will do that.
Okay.
So I add 28 temporary, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you do that? I shouldn't be at... What just happened? Override.
What? Just... How about...
I just added the 28 temporary.
Okay. It says I'm at 73 then. Is that right? Well, that would...
29 plus 28 is what you're at. 29 current, 28 temporary.
Okay. Alright, so it just hit me with those tentacles, and now it's just staring at me.
Yeah, that was it. It did that, saw you fall to the ground. You hit the ground, you shift into your symbiotic entity form.
From the Pikachu face.
No!
So is it a bonus action for you? Yeah, that's your wild shape bonus action. So you still have an action for your regular attacks, and you still have your reaction to use Halo of Spores.
Okay. I literally don't even know what I want to do this thing because it's not an animal.
Anything that's not an animal?
No.
You know, he's always jumping when he sees a building.
Like most of my actions, I feel like would only respond to actual physical forms. So like gust of wind and all that kind of stuff is.
Hit it with a rock.
Can I? Can I cast Veil of Shadows or Pass Without a Trace?
You could, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to try and cast Pass Without a Trace.
Okay. So that immediately gives you some better stealthing ability. So if you decided to run and hide and get to a spot where you think you could break its line of sight and all of that, you might be able to lose it.
Okay.
But that would also take some effort and some you like running and hiding and getting all of that going. So bonus action and action. You still have your reaction if you want to Halo of Spores when it starts its turn.
I would love to Halo of Spores when it starts
It's
its
going
turn.
to make a saving throw. It does fail. You can roll 2d6 for the necrotic damage, I think that is.
Is it resistant to
We shall see.
2 and 5, so 7.
Okay. Yeah. As your spores fly over towards it, and normally you see them take root, cling to it, and suck life out, they all just seem to turn black and fade into a little bit of a smoke as they hit the body of it, and you see it not do anything to this creature.
So then I gotta bounce. I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm still veiled, so
Yeah. Well, it can see you still. You'd have to like run and hide, and you
Right.
still have movement right now.
Can it attack me when I retreat if I have Veil of Shadows, or is that like
it can still try to attack you. It'll hit you if as long as it sees you. It's normal attacks and all of that. You would be committing to like, I'm going to try to outpace this thing, get into a spot where I know it can't see me, like try to hide and get away. But as long as it can still see you, it can still attack you normally.
And I'm still in the light.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just wondering if when it ported to the other side where there wasn't light, if it needs it to be dim in order to exist.
Sure.
Is that something I can do an investigation on, or like try and figure out if that's the case, or?
I'll have you roll a nature check as you're trying to understand this thing for what it is.
+2. That's only a 10.
Is that with what you add to it?
Yeah, I got 8. 8 plus 2.
It's intriguing enough, but you'd have to try to find out.
Yeah.
The thought seems to grow in you, but you're not certain.
Can I feel like I have an okay amount of health to be confident here. Are there torches that I can grab off the wall?
Yeah, there are a couple of torches here that were already lit when you entered.
Okay. And are they within reach, or do I have to retreat to them?
They're at the perimeter. You fell at like the center of the room. You'd have to move about 30 feet to get to them.
Let's say I'm going to try and outpace it, but grab a torch on the way out and just head back where I came from.
Okay, got it. So you're going to move the 30 feet over towards the torch.
Yeah.
And then that's going to be it for your turn because you've used all of your other stuff.
Okay.
So you get right next to the source of light in the room. It starts to give chase, but it sticks towards some of the shadows, and you see it doesn't run up to you. But from the distance that it has, 2 more of those tendrils fly out, and they try to hit you again.
He's crazy.
Roll 2 natural ones. That's wild. And it was a disadvantage as well, but for that matter, the tendrils seem to disappear into the torchlight as it goes to reach over towards you.
Okay.
Raggy.
In that case, I will cast Daylight.
Okay.
Which has a 60-foot range. Can I imagine that's centered around me. 60-foot radius sphere spreading out from me, so
yes.
30 in the direction
from a point
that
you choose, so you can put it on something, and it will always be from that point. You can put it on the torch for that
matter.
It
said 60 radius, so...
Right, so radius would be, I'm at the center, right? So 30 on either side of me?
No, 60 on either side.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Then I'll cast it behind me, like to where I'm right on the edge of it, and then continue to run and try and leave.
Great. As the daylight erupts out, you see the shadow figure just disappears.
Wow.
That was wild. Wow. Okay. And then I can make it out of the cave by then? Okay.
Great. So, for that matter, you found the root, kind of looked it over, saw that here was a place where it was kind of studied and even harvested. While you were there, you met with this shadowy wolf figure that attacked you, drained some of your strength, and you got the best of it, learned some about its interactions with light, used that to keep it away, and then took this light and torch or maybe you returned to the torch, up to you, I don't care. But used your daylight at least to get back up to the surface and rejoin your friends at the estate that y'all were staying at. So there we will rejoin the full party. You've been gone for about a day and a half, maybe 2 days-ish. As you all have finished your conversations with Lilith, you have set up stuff with Jacques. We'll give this some time in the day. So we'll actually put this towards the end of the day. Thelon comes back. Jacques has come by, and he has dropped off equipment for you all in the time that has passed. And so if you all look at your character sheets and your equipment, you all should see an item added to your inventory.
Oh.
Thelon, this includes you.
Wow.
Inventory!
And so I will go ahead and walk through some of the stuff that you see. I'll start with Pilgrim. Pilgrim, you had asked for armor, and you had purchased the dust glass lined leather armor. This is both pants and like a vestment. And so it's leather exterior, and for anybody looking at him, it just looks like regular leathers, but within the lining and underneath are very expertly placed pieces of dust glass that provide a lot of protection from their enchantments, as well as the way that they are overlain on top of each other. And also, because it's a bunch of broken pieces, you have a lot of flexibility still and a lot of movement. This isn't like a really large, heavy piece of glass that you're wearing, but instead it's like very expertly used shards of it that work with one another to provide you some protection. Thelon, as the party greets you and catches up, and we'll have you talk and kind of update, and everyone kind of update each other on stuff that's been going on. Lorelith gives you this bag and said, I saw that you have used your sling a lot and you liked to kind of keep a distance. And she remembered y'all using your slings and stuff against the flowers and populace as well. She had described some of that to Jacques, and so he made you a bag of, like, it's clusters of dust glass that you can use in your sling. Wow. And you should see that in there.
Yeah,
one of the things that it does with its enchantments is twice a day you can use one that kind of explodes in a magical light and dust, and you can use that to kind of distract and blind targets if you hit them with it.
Can I imbue those as well? Can I power those stones to be even more?
Yes.
Okay.
And with that, let me think about that for 1 second. Magical, you imbue them, they have that ability.
Let me find what it's called.
Gosh, there's something else I wanted to tell you about them, I just can't remember right now.
Yeah, magic stone was what it was called.
Yeah. They're +2, which means, and it's already built into it too, but they're automatically, it adds +2 to your rolls to hit, and adds +2 to damage used with them too, in addition to what you normally would have. Gwendolyn, you have a war hammer that's made with a dust glass hammerhead, and so a couple abilities that it has. You can choose to take 3 less on your attack rolls to potentially do 5 additional damage with it, or you can choose to have a +3 to hit. So you're either really more likely to hit with it, or you can choose to have a less chance to hit but do a bit more damage with it because of the magic that's imbued in them. Julie, you have a really beautiful looking dust glass wand. And so it extends out in this really ornate and light way that just feels really natural to you. And then it's got like a ring on it. It's about this long of like a golden handle piece that you hold with it. And then as you as you initially just do your firebolt right out of it to kind of test it out, you can see that
immediately, no hesitation, right in the middle of the
you can see that the magic that comes from you when you kind of summon it and imbue this magic out goes into the glass nature of the wand, and then you can see it just kind of get not like amplified, but that's what it resonates within, and then shoots out of the wand, and you can see it as an extension of yourself as you're using it. Strokeoff did get a kind of set of leather armor pieces on him that gives him a little armor class boost. Lorelith gets this quiver that she puts onto her back that's made out of a massive cylinder cut out of dust glass, and then Jacques explained to her that it will unlimitedly produce dust glass arrows, and so every time she reaches back, an arrow is like summoned within it, and she grabs it. And then
that's sick.
If she puts that quiver in some form of element related to the damage types of D&D, if she puts it like in fire for an hour, every time she pulls one out, it will be imbued in fire. And then if she changes that and puts it in something like acid or cold or thunder or like whatever that is, she can attune the quiver to a particular element, and then all of the arrows it produces will then continue to be in that element for their damage.
Very cool.
Misery, you get your horn. So
my horn here's the sky.
It looks a lot like Tuli's wand. It's that ornate piece of dust glass that has been shaped specifically, and it has that curved angle to it, and then horns out, and then it has the mouthpiece out of it that's golden. That looks exactly in the same make as Tuli's wand. Man, it does a lot. I need to pull it out, or you can read it. You can go out and read it, which you can do. But this is, you use your bardic inspiration as a reaction to allow one of these effects to take place for you and your allies. Go for your options.
Last one round. But I can do +3 to armor class.
For the whole party for a round.
Everybody within 30 feet, for the whole round.
That's big.
+10 temporary hit points.
Whoa.
+3 to saving throws.
Whoa.
Immediately move 10 feet without provoking attacks of opportunity. Advantage on your next attack roll. +3 to initiative which
Wow.
is cool. So I just use it if we do the battle. Or I can give one ally a crit on their next melee attack that hits.
Cool.
So, as a reaction, he can burn one of his Bardic Inspiration to pick one of those effects, and it takes place for all allies, including himself, within 30 feet.
Cool.
I have 4 Bardic Inspirations.
Whoa.
And then you die. And your charisma depletes.
I die, yes.
That is accurate.
So here's my armor class.
Okay. So, as you rejoin the party, these pieces are being kind of divvied out. You are handed one, Thelon, by Lorelith, and then party, feel free to reconnect and talk with your party member who's been gone for a bit.
Question.
Yes.
Can I get my strength back?
You have not rested yet.
So it comes from resting.
But if you long rest, you would get your
Okay.
strength back.
I didn't know if it was like a curse that it put on me that I'd have to go get uncursed or something. Okay. Hey guys.
Hey, you look terrible!
Are you okay?
What happened with that tree? It's sucked the life out of you.
The tree wasn't the problem.
The leaves.
I followed the tree down for a while. I learned a lot about it. It seems to be living in a different sense than any other tree that I've encountered before. Responds to touch and to any sort of pain just like we would, as though it has a different sort of nervous system running through it or something. And as I tried to stay in the shadows and follow it down to follow one of the roots, I noticed that it was bolted to the wall and it couldn't retreat any further, and it looked as though the miners or whoever was down there were using this specific route to harvest whatever it can offer. And then while I was looking at that, a wolf appeared, which wasn't initially startling because normally I can speak to animals, so I wasn't too worried about it. But as soon as I noticed it, it flashed and appeared behind me in the shadows. So I immediately knew that this wasn't an animal or anything like that. And it stuck to the shadows, but as I tried to befriend it, like I have with many animals before, it was not effective, and it didn't really sit well with it. And so it formed these tentacles that, now that I think about it, were almost root-like, if you will. Just as the roots from the tree come out, it spawned these tentacles, and they damaged me. Obviously, that's why I look like this. But in noticing it retreat to the shadows, I was able to escape by spawning daylight, and I ran straight here afterwards. So I tried to investigate it and see what I could figure out about it. But I think because I'd been down there for so long, I wasn't too keen to recognizing things that I might normally recognize.
You didn't happen to like draw a picture of the tentacles or anything?
I remember it like it was 30 minutes ago.
I'm just wondering if it had anything to do with the tortellini fingers. What was it? Linguinis.
We've all been dealing with tentacles lately.
Yeah, what have y'all been up to?
I'm seeing a trend.
We murdered a demon.
And she had tendrils.
Indeed.
I almost said tortellinis.
You did
They're not.
use the word root. Do you suspect that this was sent from the tree, or it just reminded you?
Treating.
It almost seemed as though it was protecting the root, because it spawned where the root was experiencing constant pain. It was in an area where it was wounded and it couldn't fully recover. So I don't know if maybe there's some sort of brain deep down in the caverns that this tree is connected to. Maybe it is its own life force and it can spawn these things, but it seemed as though the wolf was trying to protect the tree deeper than it seemed people had gone, because the last sign of any sort of man was there where they were harvesting, And that was where the wolf was.
Curious.
That's kind of odd, isn't it?
It wasn't too fun. Question.
Yep.
Do the times correlate to when that wolf appeared to when they killed their demon, or is that the day before?
It was the day before.
Okay.
Oh. Are we in a private space right now with just our group, or are we still hanging out with like Lilith?
Yeah, let's say this is the first room when entering the estate, and so there's a large kind of like resting room, sitting room that's supposed to be like when you come in from a long day of travel or work or all of that, and you immediately hit this receiving room. Where there's
The
plenty
foyer.
The mud room.
Noise.
The foyer would be like a big move to do.
We're in a room.
But yeah, it's just y'all. There's no Frasier in this room. There's no Treya or Lilith or anything. Jacques has left.
Is standing to the side with her wand, and she's kind of like tapping it on her chin, and you're kind of thinking like almost as if she had a gun that she's just tapping in thought, like clearly not respecting the weapon. Yeah, like picking her teeth. And she says, "Huh? I wonder. Do you think those are like the creatures with like claws and like?" And she's like stringing it about the wand, about like aiming at anyone. No weapon hygiene whatsoever. And it's like
Pam Scissor.
Yeah, scissor me. And he says, and totally lost my train of thought. She says, "Do you think like these are the creatures that Lilith warned us about down in the dungeons that we're going to be facing, like the shadow monsters?" Seems to fit the description.
Teeth, claws,
Check.
sticks to the shadows.
It's stuck to the to the shadow.
All right, so we just gotta bring flashlights.
You
I
think?
mean, torches.
Fantasy flashlights here! Fantasy flashlights!
I could just say torches because you're British.
Hey, Nick.
I think that what allowed me to escape was the density of light.
Okay.
Even with the torch, it was able to try and reach me with the tentacles, but they seemed to disperse in the light, even though it was dim. But once it was full daylight, no darkness involved, that was when I was able to escape. So I think torches have power, but it also seems as though it's able to shift in and out, because when it first appeared, it was in the light and seemed uncomfortable and immediately went to the shadows.
We need to bring the sun.
Yes.
That kind of sucks because I love the darkness.
We
Flips here.
would probably be well served to ask Lilith if we could bring some of these torches with us.
Torches. Sorry. You
Well,
said
she
it
also
weird.
lived there, so like she's got to know some ways to
Indeed.
combat the tentacles, right? Hopefully.
Maybe a shield spell? I wonder if there's any kind of
Any way to prevent danger from happening to any one of you?
hypothetically, if there's any kind of archive nearby that sells spells, or someone who, a practitioner.
Again, we
way
gotta
of
go to the
freaking-
magic store.
Hypothetically, it's almost like that's the only way my character can get spells.
It seems like physical defenses would not be strong against it. So I think any sort of spell, shield,
Interesting.
would work
I
better
have
than any
darkness,
form.
so-
I imagine as it shifts in the light, it can shift his tentacles through
Dang.
steel and things. I'm not sure, but it
I don't
seems
know.
as though that would be the case.
Do I know the spell Shadow Step? Like, know what it is?
Sure, yeah.
Sounds an awful lot like a spell called Shadow Step.
What's that spell?
It is a spell where you can teleport up to a certain amount of feet, 30 or 60, something like that, from shadow to shadow, but it only works in dim light.
Yeah.
So,
That's definitely what it did.
well,
How long are you able to conjure this light?
It's stationary, so I can bring it with us, and if we see danger, I can spawn it, but it won't follow follow me. It's set to a fixed point for an hour.
I can also cast Control Flame.
Can the fixed point be a fixed item that then
You can like
itself
do
with
his
us?
glasses. Or...
Yes. I could fix it to myself and it would...
Could you do each of the bees?
10,000
Blinding bees.
Yeah.
I say goodbye.
I'm blinded by the bee.
I think it'll last for an hour.
It does.
Yeah. So yeah, it could track with me for an hour. So in D&D
That's great.
time, that'd be 4 episodes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Pathetically.
No idea what that means.
D&D.
Dungeons and Dragons.
We haven't seen a single dragon, which is BS.
We talked about a lot of them, though.
Yeah, we haven't seen
I'm
them.
curious as to what's going on that
Wrestle down.
Patreon over there. Like crafting the enemy.
Yeah.
Is there a dragon?
I mean,
Fighting an evil ampersand.
I feel
It's the
prepared.
Riddler.
So
Evil ampersand. That's really good.
let's go.
Yeah, the D&D.
Right. I love it.
I would say let us...
I can cast it 2 more times.
I would suggest we allow Thelon some time to rest after his near-death experience with the Shadow Wolf, and then we scoop up some torches and be on our way.
We would all have to sneak. Well, I guess I could sneak us in there.
Hmm.
There was
that
like
my-
some just non-existent being wanting us to do like
Yeah,
We can do
But yeah,
that.
what have you guys found anything
We're
cool
waiting-
happening on?
We're waiting till the next day to go.
Yeah.
That's what you're suggesting.
Perhaps,
Then I kind of want to do something. In the
perhaps
meantime.
we allow Thelon to rest while we obliterate one another.
What time? I still have a lot. I'm still in my symbiotic form
Then it
for a
won't
little
be
bit. I think.
Nice.
We'd have 5.
I come up like
really
all
die,
all
though.
glowy and stuff.
I'm trying to fight.
I think it still lasts for a while.
And then I want to go
What
to
time
the
is it?
It's for y'all in your normal
we're nocturnal now.
sleeping cycles and all of that.
Yeah.
It's now turning nighttime, but it's actually about the time Lilith is gonna like wake up.
And put on a room and makeup.
Hi, this girl's a fair way to shake up.
Indeed.
You wanted to!
Well, I feel bad going on an adventure with strength sapped
Well,
here, but
let's just beat each other up.
Well, we'll still
Y'all would
have
have
one
time
night.
if you
Yeah.
rested tonight and then woke up in the morning. You'll still have all day tomorrow.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of time for y'all to get your
Wonderful.
torches, do
I
whatever
feel
you
like we
want to
just
do.
woke up.
Y'all can show me around. Have you guys done anything else besides killing demons while I've been gone?
I don't know.
we did some schmoozing with Zangan, the East Cove patriarch.
Is that who made these things? Or was that somebody else?
No,
Who made our desk glass stuff?
that
Jacques
was
of the Emerald Hood
Okay.
created it. He's an elf who was a blacksmith working specifically with dust glass. And I kind of gesture at the green, wherever the nearest dust glass is.
It's
On your
also
hand.
like the hand or something, right? Like one of the pillars of the political society
like
here.
a tooth or something.
Yeah, like a, I don't know.
but like the most neutral.
He's part of the whatever the governing board is. Yeah, I don't think he's directly connected to the closet.
No, he's like his own thing. He's like the
Yeah,
hand.
he's the leader of the hand, part of the sextant, where there's the 3 families, the 2 religions, and the neutral.
Who's speaking?
Oh. Yeah, we all knew that, and we expressed that to Thelon.
I knew that. I just want to make sure
Yeah.
you knew that. Well, I want to ask Lilith if there's like a Spells a Million in the area or something like that. But y'all are welcome to come along. Shit, Feta.
I think Spells a Million went out of business.
Spells a Noble.
Yeah.
There's one at the old Concord Mill. Down the lane.
And then, yeah, 3v3.
3v3?
3v3.
Yes, we found a fighting dome beneath the house. Well, actually, Loreleth did. Thank you, Loreleth.
Wow.
Yeah, whatever.
She flips you off.
Yeah, whatever. She flipped you off.
a sort of training dome where we can hone our skills while not actually harming one another.
Wow.
Though I do believe, I do know, because I trained in a similar dome with my greaser kin back in my heyday. And, wise beyond my years.
So we can play like Red River, but with spells.
Indeed.
Play a game of horse.
Now you're speaking his language.
Yeah.
Great.
It's like, Misery, you stand over there. I'm going to hit you with my hardest spell, and then you hit me with your hardest spell.
Yeah. Do it.
But wait
Ready.
6 seconds. So, as you all do whatever you want to do to relax and prepare and tour around, continue to catch Thelon up and talk with him. Lilith does eventually wake up. Tuli, you get to speak with her and ask. And just to kind of shorthand it, she does end up responding, we don't have a formal shop for that here. Nobody's really taken that up to serve the public, I guess, yet, but historically, back when we lived in the caverns, each family would kind of learn on their own. It was a very competitive place where those who would learn magic would keep it to themselves. I imagine that's why there isn't any large-scale sale of magic here. However, if you were to seek that out, maybe Daragirth or... Oh gosh, now it's my turn to say, oh god, and remember somebody's name. It's right there! It's right there! Levrette, of the Cloth.
Do you mean Durga?
I do mean Daragirth. The Chain of the Cloth, since a lot of people associate their magical powers as a derivative of their faith in their god. I don't know, maybe that could be of some service to you. I could also dig into some of our archive and history of what we had here. I have not had much for magical training of my protectors, but maybe in our preservation and what we have brought up, there might be something I can dig up for our use tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. Or if you want, like, a helper, like an archivist. I've done a lot of work with old books, whatever archivists do.
I've done a lot of whatever that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel as though Durga probably is not going to be super amenable to helping. It's just like a thought that I have.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know how much.
What you just told me yesterday.
Yeah, okay, we did tell you that. Yeah, I think he's a little PO'd at us. But I will check in with Lorette.
Okay.
And I would love to know if there's anything. I'm looking for any kind of magical spell. I would be honored to learn a spell from the Westco family. Particularly something protection related, light related, something along those lines. Yeah. That
might be, I mean, I'm no expert, but given our context and where we lived before, that might not be something we were experts in. I'm not sure, but we'll see.
Protection then.
Protection then,
yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Always thinking of protection, yes.
Thank you very much. And she bows.
Is there such a thing as, could I teach her daylight, or is that just a druid thing?
No, because you know it in a different way than she would know it.
Okay.
So you know it because of your just like innate connection to nature in that form of magic. Her ability to learn magic is very specifically tied to almost like a philosopher studying the actual realities of logic and mathematics.
Knowledge versus feeling.
Yes. And so you're just like, this is easy. Like, don't just pray to nature and it comes to your mind. And she's like, no, that's like not even.
Totally like slamming her head. It's not working. Why don't you get this?
I'm trying to feel math.
Don't you just get it? No.
I wish I did.
Cool. So that sets you up. The party's got your time. Anything else going on during this? Do you want to go and visit Levrette?
Yeah, I want to come back for the 3v3 though.
Yeah. There's time to do both.
I'm still walking with my wand. Swinging it to the side.
You going on your own?
Yeah, I'm gonna go see Levrette from the Cloth. She's kind of like the opposite of the Chain, I guess. So hopefully I like her.
She's also associated with Anivia, which you know.
Oh yeah, and she's associated with Anivia, the goddess who kind of saved my bacon back when I got hugged to death by an acid troll.
Aww. I thought Liberette was a
So-
boy.
Is Anivia like a nature god?
You thought she was what?
I thought Liberette was a boy.
That's an interesting question. Actually, you should ask that to Tuli.
Julie, is Anivia a nature god?
She is the goddess of the process of death and dying and fate. So I'm gonna say she's typically,
It's a part of nature, but
in a way, she's associated with ice and
Okay.
cold and snow. So maybe more of a like weather type natural element.
yeah.
Thelon, I will
Let
say...
me think about it real quick. What
Wait,
else do I
Thelon, just
know?
as you're interpreting some of this too, I mean, you are a druid that kind of has a specific relationship with decomposition, with your like fungal form and things like that too, and there is an element of like the death and dying process, as well as the cold stuff that she's talking about that like does have a pretty heavy influence in nature. Like, it doesn't seem entirely distant from your relationship with magic and your relationship with the world.
Okay. And you said this woman who she's going to visit worships Anivia?
She's a priestess of the cloth, which
Okay.
worships Olivia.
I'll tag along with you.
Come on,
See if I can help
let's go.
or have some good conversation.
I'd be curious to see, having met Anivia, I'd be curious to see what one of the followers
Come along.
is all about.
Watch her be a yokel too. I doubt it.
You all walk into a sanctuary devoted to a spaghetti monster.
Well, this is worse.
We have found the tentacles. Gwendolyn, are you coming along?
Misery's on.
Missouri, are you coming along? No.
I say, Gwen, I have an idea for another album cover.
Yeah, do you want to just like
Let's just workshop
stay
it here.
creative?
Yeah.
You're just posing for her to paint
You
you.
want to just like get some creative juices flowing?
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm not trying to be running comics right now. You know, after or Borbon's whole thing. Yeah. I'll get my paints.
Okay, great. Do you
Get
want
my
to
paint.
do you want to talk through any of that, or is that just
Pilgrim
like a
got some pants.
behind the scenes kind of quick stroke of that?
What's Laura doing?
I imagine she'd stay behind, or at least like maybe she's gonna meditate, stay up in her room for a bit on her own.
Up to you if you wanna.
I got nothing to say.
Okay,
We
great.
can
Behind
text
the scenes.
about it and come
We'll give you the
Yeah.
conclusion at the end.
We'll cut
Yeah,
back to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so traveling through the city, we can also shorthand you like talking with Lilith and getting some torches to go, dorches or whatever. And then you travel through the city and you find the Cathedral of the Cloth, which is in similar build of the like the tower kind of nature of the chain that was built too. Except there, of course, are no pillars with chains and stuff attached over to this. But instead, you can see one singular braid of cloths that wraps around this tower all the way down to its base. And then at the base of it, you can see this thick kind of clothen structure. And then there's a cut out through that into the entryway. Any conversation between you three before you enter?
Looks like Rapunzel.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Who's that?
what?
Is that a druid thing? Perhaps a bear?
Thelon's probably just following your lead.
Yeah, no, I would have just been kind of observing the city, walking along.
Okay.
Not over conversation.
We stopped at fantasy Starbucks.
Great.
Honestly, I think I would be curious, just after all that's been going on,
Mhm.
as we travel there,
Yeah.
I think I'm, like, particularly just observant of, like, people watching us,
Sure.
people following us.
Mhm.
Is there anything to be concerned about?
Roll investigation.
Oh, he wanted that.
You hit the spot.
Well, it is...
Just put one in front of it.
It is a 17.
Okay. At first, as you're walking through, it's kind of hard because y'all. Did he roll low?
His
but
insight's huge.
Investigation, yeah.
Oh yeah.
His insight is also massive. So, anyway, and at first, as you're thinking about this, and you start to give a heavy eye towards understanding the looks that you're getting from other folks, it seems like everyone is paying a lot of attention to y'all, and you have, by this point, you've been here for at least 3 whole days, I think, have gathered the fact that like y'all stick out pretty easily. Everyone here is Drow or Duragar, and so y'all are a bunch of surface dwellers coming around to this town who've been here for a bit and kind of established yourselves, and the lingering eyes every single person going by. Eventually, though, throughout this time of walking, it's probably a 10 to 15 minute walk across town to get to this cathedral. You notice that maybe half the time that y'all spent walking, but there was a drow female with long black hair that was kind of just keeping up with y'all, and you've noticed a bit, and then you maybe suggested that, hey, let's just kind of divert this way for a bit, and you do a little bit of a loop. And when you do that loop to test out what's going on, she seems to just be lingering 50 feet behind y'all.
And she...
Call her out.
Maybe from trying to be discreet, I can't tell from discern this necessarily, but like, does she seem to have characteristics of the woman who murdered earlier? Does
Okay.
She seem like...
Yeah, roll an insight check.
Nice. Oh, that's even better.
No problem. That's a 29.
Was it an nat 20?
Wow.
No,
19?
I have +10. Yeah.
Holy crap. You see it to her soul.
Yeah. You can't tell if this is a racist thought or not.
It was insightful.
but or maybe it's extremely insightful. But there's a lot of similar features and characteristics, but also enough to tell you it's not Farlane. But strikingly similar resemblance.
Okay. And they wouldn't necessarily be close enough for it to like murmur something to the group.
50 feet away.
They would hear.
Tulia's walking in the front, chattering away, not listening to the word.
Who are you talking to?
I'm telling you guys all about Shadowstead in great detail.
Speaking of step, I'm not sure how connected to explicit or implicit bias this observation may be, but there does seem to be someone hailing us reminiscent of Farlane, perhaps of the South Cove family.
Does Thelon know who Farlane is? Or is he gone for all that?
No, they would have caught
They
you
would have
up
caught
on
me
it.
up. Okay.
Like, right now? Tulia says, like,
Don't
with a
turn
smile
around.
still on her face.
Yeah. I'm gonna, like, position myself so that the person tailing us would be at my direct 6 o'clock.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, Julie, what is your thought on the collar of this armor? And I'm like looking over my shoulder with my eyes, trying to like indicate the person, and just be like, does this armor seem to fit me well?
Tulia says, no. Something is definitely amiss. And then she says, maybe we should do something about that collar. What do you think, Thelon? What do you think about the collar?
I think it looks good.
No! Minus one.
So we're trying to... Are we continuing on with that loop to try and avoid her? Do we ever lose line of sight of her?
You never
I
lose
would
that sight.
have kind of stopped.
We never
to kind
lose
of,
line of
like,
sight.
intentionally stopped to be like, I'm making a scene about my armor right now.
Mhm.
But,
Tulia says,
Oh, you want to see if she passes?
Oh, she has stopped walking. So she gets to a point maybe 35 or 40 feet away, and she's standing and kind of turns off to the side.
is it a grid where one of us could, like, break off and go around the block and be behind her, hypothetically?
Yeah.
Here's what Thelon is thinking when he thought about the line of sight thing. I want to be able to disappear and turn into like a dog and go and distract her so that she can't follow you.
Yeah,
but
you could do
I don't
that.
want her to see me turn into a dog.
You could do that.
So should I just don't want it to be obvious that I'm leaving.
Yeah, make a stealth check.
Also, they were like sitting on your back.
She's just following all you guys. Stealth is +2. 22.
Wow.
Great. Yeah, so you just kind of slip off to the side. You get to a point between a couple of buildings. Y'all are watching over at Thelon, and then just dog.
Yeah. So I just look like a scruffy, like street dog that is on the bigger side, and my goal is just to go and distract, as though I'm begging for food.
Sure.
So I'd say I run up and not aggressively bother, but annoy in the attempt to slow down and try and do that.
What are y'all doing when he does this?
I would say that, like...
Whoa, where's Thelon? Where the heck did you see that?
As I'm, like, making the scene kind of, like, inching over towards, like, an alleyway, I guess. And then, like, when Thelon goes off and I hear dog noises, like, the distraction, then I'm going to kind of take Thule and try to take us down the alley away.
What are we doing?
We're trying to lose our tail.
Okay. Should we try and catch her, though?
What do you think?
I
Do we run or do we confront?
I say we confront. I say we double back around while Thelon's distracting her.
Oh. All right.
And as everyone knows, my plans never get me into trouble.
Holding the team record of death.
Does that sound good to you?
Okay.
Maybe I'll go up to her and you hang back in case, or maybe you go up to her and I'll hang back and cover your, I don't know. It's probably fine. Let's just go.
Quadruple split the party. Some people back, some people talking, some people further
I don't
back.
know. I'll follow your lead.
If you are ready for the confrontation, you loop around.
Let me think.
I turn to the main street as a potential flank if things get ugly.
Okay.
And then I'm going to slowly meander back to the main road, but not try to get close to her.
Okay.
Okay.
Are y'all behind her now?
And you want me to double around?
That was what Pilgrim was kind of implying.
Okay. Thule goes like this and starts off at a jog around.
Great.
Falls on her wand, explodes.
The buildings like shake with dust.
Thelon, you catch up to her as a dog, and then very close by you hear...
A column of green fire.
Magic missiles.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, like Cicero comes back, and you take such a fright that you just kill him.
Yeah.
That would be very funny.
How has she responded to
so
me?
you come up as a dog. What's your intention as you start to get within 5 feet of her?
Intentionally, I would say that I lower my head to not be aggressive.
Sure.
Kind of a low tail wag,
Yeah.
as though like looking for food or something, but being persistent and staying in front to attempt to slow even a little bit so that they can get around.
Yeah. So you see her. She looks down at you, and then starts to scan up again. You can see her look a little panicked, and she's just like looking around. Doesn't seem to find what she's looking for, and she looks down again, and you're just at her feet. Hello, and then she reaches into her cloak and pulls out like a little chunk of some type of dried meat, and just, here you go, and then throws it like 10 feet off to the side.
Okay.
What do you do?
Let's say that I look over at it, but then I seem more intent on being a friend because I'm grateful for the response of food.
Sure, okay. And then she starts to kind of walk around, kind of sidestep, and you're in front of her, and she kind of goes half push you out of the way and move forward. So are you trying to like keep in front of her and stop her from walking?
I'd say at this point I don't want her to hurry too much.
Sure.
So I almost like retain contact with the side of her leg.
Yeah.
So almost pushing sideways so that there isn't a full force forward that she can have,
Sure.
in an attempt to almost be like, I don't know, like a trained dog.
Yeah.
I'm trying to show submission so that there isn't any form of like negative association with me or anything like that.
Yeah.
So retaining that contact to slow, and also just to still be in the picture.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to leave her side and be unaware of what's happening.
Absolutely. So she tries to like push you off to the side so she can move, but you do manage to like slow her down a bit where she gets distracted. She's looking down. She's trying to get her feet in front of her to start moving, and then she moves in all of this time maybe 5 feet forward, searching ahead to try to figure out where you all went, and you're just like kind of dipping into her legs and kind of pushing against her side. She doesn't get really frustrated yet, but she is frustrated by the fact that she can't complete her task. And by this point, and you all loop around, you see this happening. She's not looking towards you all. You seem to have some sort of a jump on this situation. What would y'all like to do?
I'm gonna like look around at Pilgrim and go like this, and then I'm gonna run up to her and say, dog, there you are. I'm gonna like come up to her and kind of like be way too close, like have my arm be way too close, and like, well, not that close yet. Be like, kind of just like touch her arm and be like, oh my gosh, girl, thank you so much. You found dog. I've been looking for him forever. My name's Tuli.
Hi, Tuli. Nice to meet you. Yeah, great dog. And
Isn't he?
yes. If you wouldn't mind just taking him back, I'm heading this way, and then she tries to just continue to push him.
Sure, and I'm gonna kind of like spin around the dog to be in front of her and be like, well, like, listen, you've done me a huge favor. What's your name?
I'm Farron.
Farron. Wow. Okay. Listen, Farron. Can I get you anything? Can I get you a cup of Feddo just as a thank you? This may shock you.
A what?
A cup of Feddo.
Oh.
You're not a Feddo drinker. You know what? It's a new thing. You're gonna love it. And she says,
very sorry. I am on my way. So if you could just recall your dog, and I will be gone.
Yeah, on your way to where? Maybe we're going the same way. And kind of like stands to the side, not aggressively blocking her, but like letting her, and say,
oh, are you all leaving town? I was intending to see a bit of daylight and surface today.
You all? Oh, how did you know I was with other people?
You and your dog.
Julie kind of looks at her for a second and is like,
roll an insight check.
That's so good.
That was very quick.
Oh my gosh! And I know you didn't do that on purpose. Maybe you did. You definitely did on purpose.
11.
Okay.
Oh wait, you're not.
She feels caught. You see it on her eyes. So she, as soon as you say, "Oh y'all," and she was like, it was very brief. There was a little bit of a stammer. You and your dog, and she seems like almost too confident in that answer, even.
So what did you just say that you're about to repeat what you said?
She's gonna go see some daylight and head to the surface, and kind of asked like, "Oh, is that where y'all are heading to?"
No, we're actually headed to the Temple of the Cloth, but I'm from the surface. I'd be happy to tell you more about it.
I just need to feel some daylight on my face.
Interesting. Huh. Okay. Tuli's gonna go for broke here.
You're gonna push it? You're gonna push the envelope a little bit?
Tuli?
What?
You're doing good for 5 currently.
Yeah.
That's the thing, I'm not really playing. Okay, it's time to play like I have no
Yeah. Extremely intelligent and
The
like
rolls will
you
get
playing that tooling.
I know what you've done!
I was gonna say, like, well, you know, that's super funny because it kind of felt like you were following the three of us just now. You know who I mean, right? Right, Farron?
Weird feeling then.
Yeah, isn't it though?
Yeah.
Actually, really funny. You look like someone that we know, someone that we have met recently. She was at the Temple of the Chain. Do you happen to know someone named Farlane?
Farlane would be my sister.
She was a noodle.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Well then, I suppose all introductions aside, I am Baron South Cove. And you've met Farlane.
I have, yeah. We had a really heated discussion about religion. She's a real scrapper, your sister, but I think I came away the better. I think I've converted her a little bit to my way of thinking, so to speak. But anyway.
Oh, that's very interesting. I was just talking with her this morning, and she had nothing to say of this interaction.
Well, I'm sure she gets a lot of people talking to her. This morning, you said?
Yes.
Okay, this is Rachel asking, when did we kill her?
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Tuli's gonna say... I'm so sorry. I've got a little Dustforge in my throat. How is your sister? She seemed like she just rolled with my punches. I know I'm that obnoxious out-of-towner that just has to come and bother the people at the Temple of the Chain. She seemed to handle it pretty well. You said she's doing fine?
As if she has no idea what you're talking about at all.
Interesting. This, I would love to continue my discussion with her. Is she at the South Cove Manor? I don't mean to be rude. If I'm breaking some kind of unspoken rule, I apologize very deeply. I'm, again, a surface dweller, like you're trying to be, apparently.
And what would I be able to tell her you need to speak with her about?
I just want to see if she remembers...
Dying?
I just kind of want to, pick her brain, kind of, break into that brain of hers and just kind of see what's going on in there.
You're gonna spread it around the room!
I just really want to, crack that brain of hers, you know what I mean? Just get in there and see what it's like in there. Really get to know her and who and what she is.
Well... Well, the next time that you are, I'm sure, scheduled to meet her, she would continue whatever it is you two are working on.
Yeah. And anyway, so you weren't following us, right? That was a mistake on my part, I guess.
Unless y'all are heading in the same direction, happenstantially.
Interesting. Do I perceive that she's... I perceived already that she felt caught. Is that enough?
Yeah,
read.
she's kind of conveniently lying her way through this part, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say, well, if you see us in the street, come on up and say hey.
As you have taught me well.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, can you get this thing off of me?
Which thing? Oh, dog.
Your dog.
Oh yeah, my dog.
I look
here.
up, and then I run over towards the food.
Oh, that dog. This dog really needs a leash law, am I right? Anyway.
A what?
And she says, okay.
Great.
And kind of stands to the side and lets her go.
Great. Anything you'd want to add to the interchange?
Could you hear that from
during that, I was going into my flanking thing. I think I would have tried to kind of go around and essentially be behind her, try to discreetly be so that she wouldn't realize I would have moved around behind them, and so that I'm close enough to have heard that exchange.
Absolutely. Yep.
And so I'm just gonna mind link with her and be like, "We'll be seeing you." Walk straight past her and then just kind of not even pause, just walk past and continue the way we were going.
Yeah. What you see on your face as you kind of end the exchange is she looks ahead to kind of the edge where the surface is. She starts to walk, but then there's this curious look on her face where she just... And then as she steps away, Pilgrim's face is revealed behind her, and you just see him, in his mind-linking intention behind her as she leaves.
Well, she didn't grow up.
Great. Cool. Do y'all want to talk about that before heading into the Temple of the Claw?
Well,
Where is Thelon?
I unshift.
As we get closer, does she...
Yeah, what does she do?
So we're all just walking towards the temple together now?
Well, she's following the street off. You all are in front of the temple now, so she is leaving.
Cool. She went right.
Well, that's not great.
Interesting. The South Cove family clearly is interested in us. The question is, do they know that Demon Farlane is dead? Or were they oblivious to a second Farlane?
Or was Farron
Or is she not really
completely
dead?
lying?
Or was she lying about Farlane's being alive?
Yeah.
Many questions.
Many questions. Here's what we know. Lilith will not be pleased if she finds out Farlane is still alive.
If Farlane is alive, that won't be good. Also, it has clearly become much harder for us to get things done discreetly in this town, as the entire town is watching our every move.
With the wand, what to do?
First thing we could do is stop hitting yourself in the face with the wand.
Y'all said that Farlane had tentacles, much like the wolf I saw in the caverns?
When we engaged her in combat in the Temple of the Chain, she morphed into something that was no longer anthropomorphic?
She was a yokel, which is a type of demon.
Yeah.
When you kill them, they are made of ooze, I want to say. And when you kill them, they don't actually die. They reform on the lower plane of Pori, where I'm from.
Right.
Usually it takes them, it depends on how strong the demon is, but it can take them anywhere from months, weeks to reform, but they will reform back on the surface. It would be incredibly quick. I'm just trying to sense if God is going to stop me here in saying this, but it would be incredibly quick, of 24 hours for them to reform. That would be incredibly powerful yokel.
And your experience with yokels was she's stronger than others? On the plane of a Pori
I've never fought a yokel.
Have you heard of
personally? I have heard of them. I don't think I had the sense that she was
too powerful.
Any out of the ordinary powerful. So I guess maybe this is the real Farlane. So we just got the yokel, maybe?
Either that or it's a cover-up knowing that her sister is going to come back.
Yeah. True.
I'm just going to start saying stuff. Try and stop me, God.
You just tried. Thunder in the...
Hey, if it's wrong, I'll be corrected.
Well, should we go talk to the cloth? Maybe we can ask them about Farlane.
Yeah.
And hope they know the demon in there, too.
That would suck.
All right. So,
into the temple we go.
As you then enter the Temple of the Cloth, the Cathedral of the Cloth, it's immediately just like an instantaneous take-in of a ton of information. The doors are opened and are already open, and so as you step in through, you are in kind of an insulated cavern in the city that feels pretty warm, like it keeps the heat of the city there, and just a very stark step into cold. That this place feels extremely chilled. And you remembered on your travel here that you had bought some winter clothes, which you're currently not wearing because you haven't needed them. But it's an immediate feel of like, okay, look, wow, this is like we're almost back into the weird winter that we felt in our travels. And as you step through, it's a very humble place. It's not set up with like a bunch of pews and a stage like altar like the chain is set up. This is actually more of a round room with no seating whatsoever, and in the center is this kind of plus shape. Is that like a plus sign shape? That's the word I forgot to add. Plus sign shaped pool, almost like a fountain. And without any type of water like spraying over it or anything, like more of a reflecting pool that's completely frozen over. And you can see a couple of acolytes here who are kind of attending to this pool and are kind of leaned over to the edge, kind of taking care of it and giving extra special attention to the actual water that's there. And so as you three enter in, one of them just kind of looks up and gasps, hand over towards her robes, and looks down and starts to whisper down into the pool. And then that catches the attention of the other one, who also looks up. And as you enter, and you can see into the pool yourself, there is the form of a very ancient-looking human woman underneath of the ice. Mm-hmm. Eyes closed, robes kind of draping out in long strands, her hair long and gray, also in this massive form out of singular strands of hair and clumps of it all, just with odd directions, but frozen still into this ice, with eyes closed, arms crossed, looking up.
It's Nora Freeze. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
As one of the acolytes say, I think they're here. I think this is what she's been waiting for. And that's where we will end this episode.
Is it a Transformer?
Autobots.
Isn't that where
You're an arch.
found
No, it's Mr. Freeze's wife, and he has to stop Batman so he can bring her back to life out of the ice. That's that's the plot twist from the second episode.
No, I'm pretty sure it's
is...
what's the bad one? The Decepticon.
Megatron?
Yeah, it's Megatron.
You think Megatron is the old woman in the pool?
Yeah, she's frozen in ice.